because they are most costlier than the food crops. So as a result, the system like land revenue system, zamindari system have been adopted by the British government. And at the same time, our Indian farmers were obliged to sell large part of their commercial crops in the local market to the British officials. So what happened? The British officials bought our commercial crops at a very cheap price and export them to their own country and made a higher amount of profit. Okay. So the state of Indian economy during pre-British period. So pre-British period, during the pre-British period, what was the state of our Indian economy? Prior to the colonial rule, Indian economy was a vibrant economy. Before the British had come to our country had a very vibrant economy. So it was one of the richest economies of the world. At that time, our country was one of the richest economies of the world before the British had come to our country. India was also known as the golden sparrow of the world. Okay. All the Western and European economies were interested in promoting their trade with India. So, with the discovery of sea route to India in 1498 by Portuguese sailor Vasco da Gama, the English, French, Portuguese, and Dutch came to India for strengthening their trade ties with India. So, after Portuguese discovered the sea route in 1498, from that time, the English, French, and the Portuguese people had come to India for making trade with India. So first in the year 1600, the East Indian Company was set up. Okay, was set up in England to promote the trade ties to set up permanent trading base in India. Okay. So at that time, to impress the England Queen Elizabeth I granted permission to East India Company for doing trade with India. Okay, so in 16, then after that, they came to India and started their trading with India. Initially, this company set up trade ties with Indian rulers, but gradually it started interference in the domestic and internal affairs. So after the West India Company established in our company, that is the East India Company, established in our country, initially they made their trading with basically the rulers of our country. But slowly they diversified their business and they started set up their trade ties at so many places in our country, and they are also started to dominate our country. Okay, so these are the basics of the state of our Indian economy during the pre-British period. And at that time, the structure and organization of the village and towns, like our Indian economy was mainly village-dominated economy as compared to right now. Okay, nearly 90% of our population was living in village at that time during the pre-British period. Also, the Indian villages were self-sufficient units in respect of daily necessities, food articles, raw materials. Okay, at that time, the villagers were self-sufficient to fulfill their day-to-day necessities, their daily basic needs. Okay, these are mainly in the pre-British period. And also the Indian villages consist of mainly classes like farmer, village artisans, weaver, ironsmiths, potter, goldsmith, okay, washerman, barber, etc. Mainly the occupation of the villagers are like this. And there are also some village officials. Okay. At that time, the towns were classified as administrative towns, pilgrimage center. Towns had better transportation connectivity as compared to the villages, and the market in towns were larger in size and better organized. Okay, so basically, these are the state of our Indian economy during the pre-British period. And state of at that time, the state of industries and handicraft, the agriculture, at that time the agriculture was the main occupation, but yet there are a large amount of skilled worker and handicraft laborers in our country, and they also gain their name and fame and their reputation in our country. And we know our country is also very popular in case of handicraft products, glassware, and textile products, jewelry products, etc. Okay. So the main industries in handicraft sector in pre-British period included jewelry made of gold, silver, brass, copper, metal wares, etc. Okay. So at that time, we know the state of industries and handicraft was also in a favorable position in the pre-British period. Yeah. Then, if we come to the agricultural sector, what is the state of the agriculture? We know maximum portion of our population depend on agriculture at that time in the pre-British period. So the economic condition of farmers was very unsatisfactory. The agriculturists included landowners and tenants. There are wide economic inequalities in the agriculture sector. Okay, the farmers had to pay land revenue at very high rates to the rulers, and it was the main cause for their exploitation. The farmers had been exploited by the rulers, by the zamindars, etc. Okay. So the nature of the Indian economy during the British rule, or the economic consequences of that at that time, was basically our economy was very underdeveloped. There is a stagnant economy. Okay, and our economy, there is a depreciated economy, disintegrated colonial economy, frequent famines होतील. Then recognition of townships. Okay, so these are the basic nature of the Indian economy at the pre-British period. So if we come to the underdeveloped economy, what is an underdeveloped economy? Okay. An underdeveloped economy is what? It is the economy in which there are low levels of living, absolute poverty, low capita per income, low consumption level, poor health service, high death rates, high birth rates, and more dependence of foreign economies. Okay, if these features are there, then that is known as a underdeveloped economy. Except this, there are also various regions when we call a economy as an underdeveloped economy. These are maybe the per capita income will be very low. Okay, these are the features of a underdeveloped economy, and the economy is mainly based on agriculture. Okay, there is less development in industries, poor infrastructure, also heavy dependence on imports. The country cannot be self-sufficient. It cannot meet the domestic requirement. It has to depend on foreign imports. Okay, low proportion of urban population, then illiteracy. So these are the basic nature of underdeveloped economy. If these types of problems arising in the economy, then that is known as a underdeveloped economy. Okay. So in pre-British period, our economy is basically an underdeveloped economy. Okay. Then at that time, the structural pattern Are the main economic activities of our economy under the British rules. At that time, under the British rules, when the British ruled our country, the structural pattern of our Indian economy was marked with the dominance of agriculture. Basically, the people depends on agriculture. Then industries were in their infancy stage, tertiary sector, services like transport, communication, banking, trade, etc. Okay. So basically, at that time, in underdeveloped, our country was very underdeveloped, and most of our population depend on agriculture. There are so much poverty, frequent famine. Then the people are not self-sufficient. Okay. Then in the Indian agriculture under British rule at that time, there is less agricultural production. Our agriculture was very much backward. Okay, and the agricultural in the there was less use of agricultural inputs. Land revenue system under British rule, rural indebtedness, and then more pressure of population on agriculture land, forced commercialization of agriculture, high degree of vulnerability, then limited growth of consumer goods industries. Okay. Export oriented industries are there, lack of basic industries, then lack of government patronage, biased tariff policy, British officers, cottage and small scale industry are there. In case of Indian industries, when our industry is under British rules. Okay. Then if we come to the Indian economy under the British rules, mainly at that time, the nature of our Indian economy was very stringent. Our economy was very backward. Okay, there is a high growth of population. There was population explosion. So the problem of population was another important problem at that time. Okay, and backward agricultural economy, industrial backwardness, then less development of economic overhead capital, low rate of capital formation, then limited foreign trade. Okay, inflation was there. So these are the various problems were there at that time when our country had been ruled under the British, or the Indian economy under the British. Okay. Then gradually under the British rule, the British people did not encourage our Indian artisans and Indian handicapped workers to improve themselves or to improve their industries. So gradually various problems arise there, like they intentionally uh, they intentionally don't did not help our artisans, handicapped workers. Okay, so create they created various problems like discriminatory tariff policy, then competition from machine made products. Okay, new pattern of demands. So that by introducing this type of new rules and this type of schemes, our home artisans and our domestic handicraft workers cannot cope with them. Okay, so they faced various problems at the time of British rule. They intentionally did not help our handicapped workers to improve themselves and to improve the handicapped industries. There are also introduction of various princely states, etc. So by these, our economy was deteriorating day by day at that time under the British rule. Okay, So these are the various problems uh, which we faced at the time of British rule. Okay. So except these problems, there were also some positive impact of British rules also. Okay. Like they also made some developmental developmental work in our country. They made the railway lines. Okay, they make our agricultural product commercialized. Also introduced basic communication system. Okay, in 1852, in 1852, the British was first introduced the telegraph. Okay, telegraph line, and also development the postal services, post and telegraph services in our country. And also they have developed the transportation facilities, and also efficient system of administration, like they have introduced the Indian civil services for effective administration, and they have also introduced the Indian administrative services, etc. This is one of the toughest exam in our country, like IS. It was introduced by the British at that time. Okay, efficient system. The administration structure set up by the Britishers provided a strong base and guideline after freedom also. After our freedom, we also continue this process which was introduced earlier by the Britishers. They also introduced the modern education system. Okay, and they have also they had contributed to the industrial development of our country, to the tea industry, coal mining industry, jute industry, coffee industry. Also they have also done some social reforms. Okay, like they introduced the practice, they prohibited or they banned the practice like ritual of burning of widows. Okay, and they introduced the widow marriages. Yes, like this they have also done some social reforms. And besides this, if we consider the health sector, the contribution of the Britishers was also eye-catching. Okay. They introduced the Western medical system in India, and also introduced the smallpox vaccination. Okay, and quarantine system, checking the spread of contagious disease. In 1896, Britishers set up Indian Medical Service to promote basic health service in India. So these are the basic development and various good things which were also introduced by the Britishers in our country. Okay. Then we will come to block 2, that is determinants of growth. There are three types: economic structure, social structure, and human resource structure. So if we discuss economic structure, what is economic structure? Under economic structure, mainly we come to the financial structure of our country. Okay, what are the main developments have done by our country in order to strengthen our economy? Okay, so there are so many steps have been taken by our government, like the establishment of various banks, financial institutions. Okay, then insurance companies, various industrial sectors, set up various heavy industries like the Navaratna companies, Maharatna companies, Miniratna companies, all are set up by our government. Then if we consider the economic infrastructure, mainly the transportation structure will also come under this infrastructure. The transportation, the educational institutions. Okay, educational institutions will come under social infrastructure. Okay. Then in economic infrastructure, we can also consider the transportation sector like railway. Okay.
Hello.
Yes. Hello. Yes, sir. Hello. Hello. Okay. Got it? Have you any doubt? Pavan? Okay.
I have no doubt, ma'am.
Okay. This is mainly based on our Indian economy. If you consider the economic infrastructure, like the under the National Highway Authority of India, various national highways are constructed, have been constructed, and also the railway lines, etc. Various financial institutions, insurance companies, industrial sectors, okay, are have been constructed under economic infrastructure. Then we will come to the social infrastructure. Okay. So under social infrastructure, the education and the health will come under social infrastructure. Mainly the education and health is under social infrastructure. Okay. So education implies the process of teaching, training and learning, especially in schools or colleges, and to improve knowledge and develop skills. Compared to other countries of the world, spread of education in India has been very little. Okay. So in our country, the spread of education is very little, and right now, till date, also so many people are uneducated. They don't have got the basic education. Okay. So the government should also take various measures and also introduce various schemes to spread the education countrywide. Okay. So as compared to other countries of the world, spread of education in our country is very less. According to the census 2011, 74.04% of the population is illiterate as against 90% to 95% literacy rate in developed countries. Okay. So in India, the size of illiterate population is largest in the world. Education sector needs government intervention, particularly for providing elementary education. Okay, elementary education should be compulsory for all. Private schools are generally located in urban areas and charge more fees, so the poor people cannot afford the fees. So the government should intervene is required in setting up schools, particularly in rural areas. So the role of promoting in government education, what are the steps have already taken by the government in order to improve the education in our country? The government has made the constitutional amendment for free primary and middle education, that is known as elementary education. It covers students from class 1 to class 8 in the age group of 6 to 14 years. Okay. Government has made the elementary education compulsory for class 1 to class 8 and provide free education, primary and middle education to all the students. And also government makes consistent efforts to improve the literacy rate from 17% that was in 1951 to 74% till 2011. And also it takes various steps for promoting secondary education. Government has set up various schools for promoting quality education in rural areas. Then also set up Navodaya Vidyalayas. Okay. And central government has also set up Kendriya Vidyalayas throughout the nation in order to improve the education system in our country. It also promote higher education. 993 universities have been set up in India till date, and also the UGC controls and guides the higher education in India. There are also so many technical and professional institutes in India. The IITs, IIMs are very popular in the world basis. Okay, the government has set up various medical colleges on national basis like AIMS, law colleges, government polytechnics. Okay, this type of technical institutions have also been set up by our government in order to accelerate the technical education throughout the country. Except this, the government also nowadays encourages the research work or the research scholars to make more research in specified fields like agriculture, okay, and economics. Okay, there are so many research institutes which are very popular in the world basis. Some of them are like Agriculture Research Institute in India. The Statistical Institute is also one of them, and also the Bhabha Atomic Research Center, Space Research Center, etc. are very popular in our country, and they are doing very excellent job to improve our research in atomic sector, in economic sector, as well as in the agricultural sector also. Okay. Then the government also provides free education to children of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. It's a very welcoming step of the government. Then it also promoting female education. Government has also set up schools, colleges, and government polytechnics which are only meant for women, and it is exclusively meant for women. Then the government also launched national literacy mission to make everyone literate in the nation. For this, a special movement called Sarva Shiksha Abhijan, Education for All, has been also launched. Okay. In this scheme or elementary education, it is a fundamental right for children of the age group of 6 to 14 years from 1st April to 2010. 1st April 2010, government has enacted Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act. Okay. And the government also launched the Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhijan to provide universal access to secondary education. It also used the information communication technology is promoted in higher education institutions. For this purpose, the campus of college and universities are being made digital with well-equipped classrooms like smart classrooms, virtual classrooms, etc. So these are the various steps and schemes introduced by the government for improving the education system in our country and to improve the literacy rate of our country. Okay. And also there are so many private institutions in case of education. Their contribution is also very popular in our country. They are playing a very important role, the private sector education. They are mainly very popular in case of professional education. Okay. So their growth in our education sector, they are very much helpful for expansion of our general education, our elementary education, secondary and senior secondary education. Okay. Then the higher education also, the technical, medical, and also one aspect of vocational education has been introduced by our government. Okay. So these are basically various steps and various schemes introduced by the government to improve our education system. Besides this, there are some challenges which have to face by our government. There are so many challenges. Okay. The government has made provisions for free primary education, enacted the Right to Education Act, and it also provides free midday meal to students. But still, because of poverty, some parents prefer to send their children to work and earn money rather than sending them to school. Okay, due to poverty, the parents are not sending their children to the school. And also, the education system is lacking of vocational and job-oriented education. They only impact the theoretical knowledge. And the professional education is very expensive. The poor people cannot afford it, so it is very difficult for them to access professional education in institutes. Okay. And also, the entry when the private sectors have entered in the professional education, the standard of professional education has fallen down, right? Because the quality of professional education has fallen down. Privately run professional education institutes are commercial centers whose main objective is to earn profit. They are not focusing for the improvement of the career or for the achievement of the career goals of the students. They are only uh, doing a business, like their only motive is to earn profit. So these are the basic challenges faced by the education sector or social sectors of our country. Recently, in social infrastructure or new education policy 2020 has been introduced. Okay, in that new education policy 2020, it mainly aims to provide equitable access to highest quality education to all the learners. It aims to improve quality of education and lays focus on developing communication skills, creativity, critical thinking, ethics, values, vocational skills, life skills, etc. The policy promotes online and digital education and also professional and vocational education. So basically, the NEP 2020 provides that 10th plus 2 structure of school education will be replaced with a new 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 structure of school education corresponding to ages 3 to 8, then 8 to 11, then 11 to 14, and lastly 14 to 18 years respectively. So in this new structure, first 5 years will be called foundational education, comprising of 3 years of preschool, and 2 years of class 1 and class 2. Next 3 years will be called preparatory education, comprising of class 3 to class 5th. Next 3 year will be called middle education, that consists of class 6 to class 8, and last component of 4 year will be called secondary education. Okay, consisting of class 9th to class 12th. So in the new policy, the student and teacher ratio of 30:1 will be ensured in schools. This policy aims to increase gross enrollment ratio in higher education from 27.1% in year 2019 and 20 to 50% by the year 2035. So the new education policy has for promoting the Higher Education Commission of India, and will be set up as the apex body for regulation of higher education. A single regulatory body, National Higher Education Regulatory Council, is also proposed to be set up to replace existing multiple regulatory bodies in education sector. Okay, so these are the basic social infrastructure of education. Then we will come to the basic social infrastructure of health. Okay, so education and health are the basic social infrastructure. Then health is what? Health is the state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. It does not simply mean absence of disease. Rather, it means a sound physical and mental state of the individual. Okay. So there are various development have been done in case of health services after the independence. Mainly, the death rate have been declined. Okay, there are various great achievements have been done. Then reduction of infant mortality rate. Okay, there has also been a reduction under 5 mortality rate. Control over daily disease. Then rise in average expectancy of life, etc. Then health is also considered as an emerging challenge, because besides these developments, our health sector is also facing various challenges, like just we have seen the situation of the COVID-19. Okay, at that time our health sector is not as vibrant as the health sector of other developed countries. So there are so many fatalities in our country, and our country also cannot cope up efficiently with that situation. So there are so many emerging challenges in our health sector also. Basically, there is unequal distribution of healthcare services. Okay, the spread of disease, there is lack of awareness among the people, so the disease spread very frequently and very quickly among the people. Okay, like the disease like AIDS and COVID-19, etc. Then also there is challenges like poor management of the health sector, privatization of the health sector, poor sanitization level. The people does not have basic idea about the minimum standard of sanitization. Then anemia in women, neglected girl child. Okay, so these are the basic challenges which are also faced by the health sector. Besides this, our country, our government has also taken various measures, various effective measures to improve our health sector, and also implemented various schemes like Kishori Shakti Yojana. In these schemes aims to improve nutritional and health status of adolescent girls between 11 and 18 years of age. Also, the supplementary nutrition program, Rajiv Gandhi scheme for empowerment of girls, Indira Gandhi um, Indira Gandhi Matritva Sahyog Yojana, counseling of health and nutrition of rural population, National Nutrition Mission, etc. So these are the various schemes which have been also introduced by the government to strengthen the health sector of our country. Okay, so this is basically the social infrastructure related to education and health. Then we come to the human resource infrastructure. Okay, so human resource infrastructure. What is human resource infrastructure? The economic development of any country needs an efficient human capital. Okay, it needs physical resources, financial resources, and also the human capital, because those physical resources and financial resources have no meaning if they are not, or they cannot be used optimally, and they can be used optimally only by the human capital or the human resources. So the countries should give proper emphasis on the human resources to develop their skills. By that they can achieve the objective of the country. So the developed countries of the world have not only been making consistent effort to increase their stock of physical capital, but they have also invested time and money, education, training, research and development to improve their human capital also. Okay, and how to improve the amount, or how to improve the number of human capital, qualitative human capital. We know the population of our country is very large. Okay, and if we utilize our human capital in an efficient manner, and if we trained our human capital to improve their quality, then our country can also develop to a great extent by using its qualitative human capital. So what is human capital? Human capital is nothing. It refers to a skill and expertise of a person, okay, at a point of time. When more education will be spread, when the awareness among the people will be increased, and the people make efforts to improve their inner quality, their expertise, whatever may be the field. One person may be expert in agriculture, one person may be expert in handicraft, whatever may be their field, but they always try to improve their quality, and the government should also take necessary steps to improve the human capital. Okay. The human capital formation is the process of adding to stock of human capital through creation of skilled, trained, and efficient labor force by providing better education, healthcare facilities, etc. to the human, okay, or to the citizens of the country. It is a process of providing education, healthcare, nutrition, and training facilities to the labor force so that they can handle the sophisticated capital equipments efficiently and can innovate ideas and method of production through their enhanced knowledge. Okay. So, more qualitative human capital means increase in production capacity. More qualitative human capital can be also helpful for a country to improve the economy. Okay. Because qualitative human capital can handle various sophisticated capital equipments efficiently, and also they have more understanding power than a normal human being. So the government should take measures uh, to uh, give the people education and to give them technical education. By this they can improve their quality and their technical expertise. So what are the main sources of human development? uh, Sources of human development is expenditure on education. If you spend more on education, or if the expenditure amount of education will be increased and the government will take necessary steps to improve the education, whenever more people will be educated, then they automatically they have more understanding power and they can take good decisions, and also their productivity capacity will be increased, by which our country, our economy can be developed. So it is the basic duty of the government to set up more and more government colleges, Indian engineering colleges, medical colleges, management institutions, then polytechnics, more IITs, more IIMs, okay, more NITs, etc., by which we can gain more human capital and also can be able to improve our economy by using that efficient human capital. Then it also takes measures to improve the health. Okay, our health sector is very weaker than the health sector of other developed countries. So the government should take various necessary measures to strengthen our health sector, because we know a sound mind in a sound body. Okay, if our health condition will well, then our mind will also perform well. So the government has to take various necessary steps to improve the health condition of the people, the health condition of the humans or of the citizens of its country. Okay. So to improve the healthcare of India has built up a large health infrastructure and manpower. Advances and improvement in healthcare facilities have resulted in improvement in health, increase in life expectancy, and significant reduction in death rate. So life expectancy has increased from 33 years in 1951 to 69.7 years in the year 2019. So these are the various measures which can be taken by the government to improve the health conditions. Then various measures also be adopted to remove malnutrition, because malnutrition is a very common problem in our country. Okay. And the government has also taken various measures like ICDS, Integrated Child Development Schemes, under which Department of Women and Child Development, under which the food supplementation programs for improving nutritional status of mothers and children. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare implements programs for tackling major deficiencies such as vitamin A, iron, calcium, iodine, etc. Government has also set up a National Nutrition Mission in 2001. Under this mission, subsidized food grains are made available to females. Okay. It also provides on-the-job training, study programs, okay, study programs for adult, etc. Then what are the basic indicators of human development? How can we know that that country has quality human capital, and how can we know that that country has so many signs that the human capital of that particular country is developing? Okay, and there is quality human capital. Okay, there are so many measures. By considering them, we can know the quality of the human capital of a particular country. So basically, the indicator of human development are mainly the literacy rate. From the literacy rate, we can be able to know the literacy position of a country and can access the quality human capital of a country. Also, the gross and combined enrollment ratio, okay, that is called GER, gross enrollment ratio, that can be calculated by number of students, by dividing the number of students enrolled for education by the total number of children in the same age group. And also the life expectancy, okay, how much the life expectancy of the people living in a particular country. By this, we can also estimate the human development, the indication of human development of a particular country. And also we can take the case of infant mortality rate and real per capita income. Okay, real per capita income can be also included in the indicators of human development. Okay. So these are the basic indicators by which we can be able to know that the country has a quality human capital and the country has a quality, the country has developing its human capital. Okay. Then we will come to the human development index. So what is human development index? Human development index it was first introduced by the United Nations Development Program, that is called UNDP. Okay. In its first human development report in 1998. So the UNDP has been publishing every year a human development report. These reports discuss various aspects of human development. Besides, these reports rank various countries according to the level of human development index. The centerpiece of these reports is the construction of human development index. Okay. So what are the basic indicators of human development index? Their life expectancy, which we have already discussed, their life expectancy or longevity, then knowledge or educational attainment, adult literacy rate, then gross or combined enrollment ratio, okay, then per capita income or per capita real domestic product, okay, and the per capita real domestic product can be estimated by dividing the total population with the gross domestic product at constant price. Okay, clear? Then, what is the role of human development in economic development? There are so many roles of the human development, because the country whose human capital is more developed, that country's economy is also more developed. So there are so many factors like change in emotional and material environment of growth, okay, higher productivity of physical capital, then higher income and standard of living, innovative skill, higher rate of participation and equality, increase in return from human resources, okay, combating backwardness of less developed countries, etc. And also there are some problems in the process of human development in India, like the frequent rising of population, then brain drain, migration of persons born, educated and trained in India to developed countries. Okay, it is a serious threat to the process of human capital. Recently, there are various big companies like Twitter and Google. Their CEOs are Indian origins. Okay, so it's a threat to the process of human capital formation of a country, because the persons born, educated and trained in India but migrated to developing countries. So their talents are also migrated to developing countries. Okay. So this is the problem of brain drain, and this is a serious threat to the process of human capital formation in the country. Then also inefficient manpower planning, inefficient on-the-job training in agriculture, low academic standards, okay, weak health infrastructure. Then mass poverty is also another challenge for human capital. Okay, also another problem of the process of human development in India. Also the poor implementation of welfare schemes, gender inequality, etc. So these are the basic problems which faced by our government in the process of human development or human capital development in India. Okay, understand?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
Ma'am, I have some doubt, ma'am.
Okay, ask.
Ma'am, assignments we have to submit by post to RC or study center, ma'am?
What are you telling? Study center, yeah?
Regional center.
I will tell you about this. Actually, I don't have any idea about this. I will tell you, okay?
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, can
Okay.
you share the syllabus,
But it
ma'am?
will be better if you will ask by mailing, by send a mail to the institute in which you are doing your degree become. Okay.
Ma'am,
They
they are
will
not responding
reply
to
you,
mail,
I
ma'am.
think so. Okay, I will tell you by asking. Uh,
Okay, ma'am.
where by asking in the institute. The sir who has taken the charge of the IGNO. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Ma'am, can you please share
Tomorrow
the
is your
syllabus, ma'am?
management accounting class. Please go through the syllabus.
Yes,
Whatever
ma'am.
material you have, please go thoroughly with this. With this limited time, it cannot be possible to go thoroughly.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
I
ma'am.
only touched the important points. You have to go thoroughly. If any doubt, then you can ask me. Okay.
Ma'am, IGNOU
Thank you.
syllabus we don't have, ma'am.
IGNO syllabus is available in IGNO website. Okay, you can download by
Okay,
in Google. If you search, then you can find out that
okay, ma'am. I will try, ma'am.
it can be available easily. Okay, okay. I have
Okay,
downloaded from Google also. Okay,
okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
okay.